Time now to chat with our college football playoff reporter Heather Dinich about some of the football we saw on Saturday. Heather, number one Alabama, they got pushed, but they survive in the swamp against Florida. What did that game tell us about this year's Crimson Tide team?
Well, Dan, we learned that the number one team in the country is vulnerable, and it starts with their defense. When you look at the rushing yards that Florida racked up, 258 rushing yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. Dan, they averaged about 6 yards per carry. Nick Saban called them out for their mental errors defensively after that game. So are they the best team in the country? Yes, as of now, but the Florida game was only the start of a really difficult stretch. They have the number 7 most difficult strength of schedule remaining in the country. So they've got some work to do defensively. They know that. You would expect them to get better, but clearly they've got a weakness too.
The only thing, if you're an Alabama fan, that makes the day better is if Auburn loses too, and they did, to Penn State, who moves up to number 6 in the AP poll. How legitimate do you think the Nittany Lions' chances are to make this year's playoff?
They're legit. I put them at number 4 this week on our ESPN.com top 25, and I'll tell you why. It's because Sean Clifford morphed into version 2.0 of himself and completed 87.5% of his passes. Let that sink in for a moment. That's outstanding. And a big reason is because of the play of wide receiver Jahan Dotson. Highlight reels every play of the game, and then you have a secondary that's just so good. They're legit. The problem is they have a lot of big-time games coming up. You see that there at Iowa, at Ohio State, at Michigan State. The Big Ten is much deeper and much better than it was a year ago. That's a double-edged sword for a playoff contender like Penn State, because that means they can take advantage of those opportunities against ranked opponents and really impress the selection committee, or they can all beat each other up and play themselves out of it along the way. But don't count out the Buckeyes yet. Ohio State's fallen out of the picture because of what Penn State did, but they can still win it too.
Yeah, that looks like a gauntlet of Big Ten road games. Real quick, we're not used to Clemson looking lackluster on offense, but they did in a 14-8 victory over Georgia Tech. Where do the Tigers stack up among the Power 5 contenders?
Dan, Clemson is in the worst position of any Power 5 contender. When you need a goal line stand to beat an unranked Georgia Tech team, you've got problems. I have Clemson at number 11 in my top 25 this week. They're not a top 10 team. What have they done to this point to earn a top 10 ranking? Everybody ahead of them, in my mind, has done more, won more, and looks better to this point. They have no other ranked opponents on their schedule. You look at the likes of Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. Everybody else has more opportunities.
We'll see whether Clemson can recover from a sluggish start and return to the playoff. Thank you, Heather, for joining us.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.